everybody. Mhm. Uh, Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Not
Namaste.
Jacob, Ish, Ed. So I'm recording, but I'm not going to be putting this on YouTube. So just so you guys know, so this will be our private recording, and for anybody that signs up for the class, I can share it with you on Google Docs. Um, so maybe that makes people feel a little bit better. It's kind of actually, I mean, there's a chance I might not share it at all. It does change our experience a little bit, since we can subconsciously feel the impressions from people in the future. Right? Uh, so today is a very wonderful topic. It is so central to really my practice, and for a long time I didn't actually want to interact with anybody that didn't center on this particular thing. It was almost like, if you love math and people don't like math and you're really into math, you probably just surround yourself with professors and students and mathematicians. And yeah, you'll interact with somebody at the store clerk and things like that, but not particularly be social with them. So for a long time, my priority was this, not math, actually, it's this. This is light. Light. So I'd like to go over what is light, why is it important, and how do we get to it? So, so light is a visceral experience of the essence of the mind. You can have a visceral experience of this. It's not imagination. It's not wishful thinking. It is an experience of physics, an experience of a more expanded scope of physics. You can call it the light of consciousness, the fabric of the witness to which the manifest physical universe occurs. It is not a light of the photon, it's a light of the mind. And it is visually experienceable like the light of a photon, and it does interface with the brain and with the Kundalini. So it is a visual experience. And my teacher says it's a visual manifestation of love, which is a really beautiful thing. And I feel that and I see that as true. It is also truth. When you see the light, there is no thinker. There is no, well, there can be a thinker, but light means that you're moving into a state of dissolution in which one can see the truth because it's not obscured by the self-centered perspective, center of self. Truth is difficult to see from a conditioned self, but from the unconditioned state, we can see truth much more powerfully. Where's Ariel? Let's text Ariella. Ariella should be here. So what is light? So light is a very deep quality of energy. There is something called the chi, the Shakti, or sorry, Kundalini. There's a part of the manifest existence that is energetic, right? It's like heat. electromagnetism. It has structure and it's energetic. But beyond this energetic structure, which you can feel in the nervous system, you can feel in the aura, it changes shape. Beyond this, there is a luminous realm, which will emanate in effulgent brightness if you allow it to emerge from the density of physicality or the structure of physicality. So this is a bit of a theory of what light is. You can think of them there as being 4 planes of reality. Perhaps this is a nice way to categorize different planes of reality or layers of what is. There's the physical manifest plane of matter. There's the energetic plane of energy, which includes the chakras and the energetic subtle physical body, where a lot of people do spiritual work there. There's a deeper layer called the causal plane. Causal because it is causes things to happen. It's like it's where the soul exists. And just take this with a grain of salt for now. The goal is to see this for yourself. So don't just think, okay, well, maybe there's that out there. Let's see if I can see it as self-evident, right? Otherwise, it becomes dogmatic, religious, and we'd rather have it be a theory that you can use to take a look and see. So the next thing is the causal plane, and when you're in the causal plane, it's where the eternal self exists as an individual, and then and that's where you see this light, and then there's another plane of enlightenment, which is impersonal existence. It is another kind of light exists there, but it's actually clear. It's a different quality of light. It looks black. So that plane is where the soul of the universe exists. You might call it Brahman. In Sanskrit, we call the soul of the universe as Brahman. Christ consciousness is a Christian analog for that. There's the Atman, which is another Sanskrit word, exists in this space of the causal plane of light. So in a way, when we go into light, we start to see the Atman, the actual fabric and substance of the Atman. So, so that's the what is light. Why is it important? So really, a theory is the we're less concerned with, unless you want to be a sort of cosmologist, which all of us are a little bit closer to that than the most, I think. But the theory of the light isn't really the most important thing. The most important thing is why the light? What does it do for us? It is your essence, and in being your essence, it brings you home to yourself. You feel love, you see truth, you awaken virtue. When you're in your essence, there's a sense of unassailability. You're invincible, and you're going beyond the transient forms of existence into that part of yourself that does not change. And this is a very important thing to do. It's the essence of spirituality, to go into spirit, see spirit in manifest and reflected in form. So it is closer to the heart of the universe, to the center of the self, to the spiritual aspect of existence. It's closer to that. And or you might say, if you take it all the way to the clear light, it is that. So when we focus into this, we focus into our center. And the effect it has on our lives, this is not just about austerity and renunciation, it has a very practical effect on our lives. It clarifies and purifies our aura because it's going deeper than the form of the astral energetic body into the more subtle causal body. And this allows the impurities and the painful structures in the astral body to dissolve, which is very, very significant. If you could purify your astral body completely, you'd just be happy, intelligent, productive, healthy, all those things. It also affects the physical body. When your astral body is working well, your physical body, including your nervous system and all the structures, the chemicals, the muscles, all of these things work better as well. So it's a very practical thing to do, both in the worldly sense and the spiritual sense. And really it brings them together in a very healthy, alive, vital state of existence. So the light is a panacea. It's a cure-all. It's an ambrosia. It's a food of the gods. When you access this light, which is very rare, most people have never accessed it. Just so you know, it's a rare thing to do, to access this light. But when you do, it is just such a lovely, powerful quality in your existence. And so to have a practice, so my mathematics practice centers on this light. Ultimately, my goal is to do math in this light. Bruce Lee would do martial arts in this light, apparently. When you take your mastery to the level of light, it means that you're just this effulgence of light while you're in action too. So you can do it in a formal meditation, or you can do it in action. When you're in a complete flow state, there's light, or not complete, but as you approach complete flow state, there's more and more light. So why is it important? Well, it awakens beauty. It erases all the obstructions to perception. It makes you feel good. It purifies the aura. It opens the heart, and it is sacred. It's divine. That's what it is. It's so what is sacred? What is divine? I would say going into the light. And so here's an actual answer for those questions. It goes by the name in Sanskrit, Shakti. Shakti is a name for it. There's other subtle distinctions that can be made. There's another name called Soma, is when the light appears as waves. So Mom, when you see the waves, that's called Soma. When you see just the brightness everywhere, that's called Shakti. And the waves are the light taking form. When the light starts to take form into Kundalini or some sort of formed energetic structure, it initially pulses as waves and it washes through you. So if you go into light twice a day for 15 minutes to an hour to 2 hours twice a day, it's a very transformative thing. I would say that probably, whether or not they emphasized it, many of the spiritual teachers, well, I guess I've read a lot of great spiritual teachers talk about the light, although they don't always center on it as much as I do. Krishnamurti says it's a light without shadow. So there's a light that has no shadow. My teacher's teacher, who was a well-known spiritual teacher in the 80s, he talks about the light, and his program centered on the light a lot. Another thing you could call it is Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is the royal yoga. There are 4 paths of yoga. The one of the paths is the application of power and energy. So this light is power and energy. And really, we are using the energy to transform ourselves, to wash ourselves of samskaras, which are multi-life impressions, to purify ourselves to become ultimately divine and pure. And when you do this, you awaken mathematical intelligence immensely. When I don't feel connected to the light, I can't do math as well, because the light opens up the silence and the intelligence that comes from silence. When the mind is silent, you can actually see how to do things. But when the mind is moving so much, you only see that movement. And that applies in interpersonal relationships. When you love somebody, you're listening to them, you can see, you may only see your reactions to what they're saying, but if you can listen to the deep meaning of the words inside of them, their state, their experience, and open up empathic perception, that can be increased by the light. So it's very, very important. So those are the whys. The next thing is how do you go into the light? So one of the techniques, it's a very complex matter, actually. There are sitting down techniques that we can just do right now, which we'll do. Gazing helps you go into the light. When you gaze, you look at everything at once and you allow it to dissolve. It may be the, for those of you who know what quantum mechanics is, it may be the inverse of the wave function collapse. So when you collapse the wave function, everything is a particular way. If you were not to collapse the wave function, everything would maintain its quality as a wave. So when we meditate, we actually feel that you're not collapsing the wave function. So in the sense that you're allowing everything to dissolve, you're looking at everything at once with your mind and not fixating with your eyes. You're not moving into the imagination realm of your intellect. You're opening your awareness and allowing everything to melt into its essence and source. This is kind of the technique that we do. But it's important to recognize that this light it comes about when you align your life. So if you have a life that's aligned with your heart, it's easier for the light to come. If you have a life that's centered on love and is inclusive in that it's a self-transcendent experience of seeing the other as the self, it's easier to be in the light. When you're selfish, the light is hard to access. When you're out of integrity, you know that you're compromising your spirit and the light is harder to access. So it's a very multi-dimensional process of awakening this light in oneself. But at the apex of one's experience, when you're complete integrity and complete love, moving, dancing through time, then you become this light. And so this is the apex of spiritual experience, is to experience that. Along the way, you can learn to still the mind, you can learn to be a kinder person, all those things. But when you feel that you are the light, your kindness has deep authenticity. You're not being kind because you want to be a good person. You're being kind because you deeply feel that you are whole. The wholer you feel, the more genuine your kindness, the more genuine these virtues can become, because they're coming from the awareness of your ineffable, infallible, not infallible, unassailable, immutable existence. So when you meet somebody who's very kind and you can sense that it's genuine, you can probably say that person knows their source. They know they are more centered in that part of themselves that is the heart and the deeper heart. So, all right, that was oh gosh, how many minutes did that take? 22 minutes. Little description, we should do it, but I would like to answer any questions before we get started. Ariella, I would love to hear Ariella's question. Do you have a question? This is my favorite thing. I just want to add one more thing, and I'd love to hear from Ariella. It is the ultimate massage of your soul. It is this, it's the massage of, it's like when you're in light, you just feel good. If you have anxiety, poof, feel good. If you feel stress, poof, feel good. It is, you just feel so good. It's kind of like, it's work, but it's you know, it's not a sacrifice. You're sacrificing your superficial attachments for this deep wholeness and feeling of just absolute ecstasy and bliss. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And just if you get a taste of it, it's really you may find that you will commit to it for a lifetime, as I have when I got my first taste of it. So, Ariella, hi.
Hi. Oh, this was wonderful, Adam. Thank you for putting all this into words. It was incredible. Um, I I'm certainly not all the way there, but I do feel some of what you were talking about.
I think you might be going into the eternal plane, by the way. When you say nothing's there, you just 20 minutes went by and you didn't even realize you were meditating and you weren't there, you weren't experiencing anything. It was just timelessness and spacelessness and selflessness, basically. That's usually considered the eternal plane. So there's that's that's a very deep experience. So we want to go into the causal plane so that we can get into the eternal plane. And then when we're in the eternal plane, we can attend to the different dimensions of self, the causal self, the astral self, which is the energetic self, and the physical self, and the expanded societal self, our personal relationships. We're able to attend to everything, but if we can be centered in the deepest plane of existence. So every time you go into the eternal plane, you come out different because you can't really bring anything in there. So when you come out and you've shed some layers. You can't even bring your name in. I say it's like a door with a crack that's so thin that you can't even bring your name. There's no sense of I am even there. So when you go into the light, you're in the direction of this. So yeah, Jacob, I saw you said something. Yeah, exactly. It washes your soul clean. My teacher's teacher says that he's like, it's like it. Sometimes you have an interaction with somebody and you walk away and you feel kind of funny, or you went somewhere and you felt kind of funny. You can just sit down and go into light and reset, and it's a very powerful thing. And if you can get into it, okay. I want to also say, if you can't see the light, please don't be hard on yourself. Sometimes there are various reasons why somebody might not be able to access the light initially. Sometimes if you're on a certain medication, um, you may have built up quite a bit of density in your aura. But don't be discouraged because in time you can come to see it. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. You could be a very evolved individual, and there may be something just preventing that from happening in the immediate time being. Okay, so some people, sometimes when you're quite an intellectual in our society, it makes it a little bit more difficult to access the light. You might see some kid or some like flower child hippie. They do it, and it's very easy to go into the light. Partially because we seek to structure our mind very well, but without creating density. So this polarity between a well-structured mind, which maybe the flower child doesn't have, but they could benefit from that, and this rigidity, right? We want to reach and have this clarity and structure that is also fluid and dynamic of somebody who is not rigid through clarity and structure. So that might be an obstruction for some of you, perhaps. So, Ayush, did you like my Sanskrit terminology? I feel like you know quite a bit of Sanskrit.
Yeah, it was good to hear about the light, about the causal planes, and to know like more about light. Now I want to feel that as well.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm sorry. So this is the description, and sometimes, usually when I meet with people in person, I just like, okay, sometimes I'll be talking to a stranger I just met and I'll say, whoa, there's a light, and I'll start doing it with them. And I won't say anything about it whatsoever. So perhaps I hope this was a good way to start, but all right, so let's do it. So if I meet a spiritual teacher, one of my most important things is like, okay, do I feel the light from this teacher? Right? That's if I went and met with the great Ramana Maharshi, I'm like, okay, the light. I'm excited to feel your light. It's like that's what a real darshan experience is. Darshan means like sitting with the teacher. So this is a darshan. I'm not enlightened, fully enlightened. I've progressed quite a far along the path, but there's a long way to go. But when you're fully enlightened, which just a handful of people at any time on the planet are, a lot of this light comes through, and being around, we kind of help each other up on the inner planes. So, all right, let's do it. So how are we going to do this? So first, this helps to do one-on-one with people, but let's start as a group. If I start to do one-on-one with somebody, I'll let you know, and basically just look at me. Oh, we have to do it. We have to do one-on-one. It's the only way to make it work. So when I do a one-on-one with you guys, just look at me and I'll pin you. So begin by looking at all the space in the room. Turn that down. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is just kind of gaze forward. And you can play with blurring your vision a little bit. Just really softening your focus, looking at everything at once. Good to bring attention to the heart center while you do this. We're really trying to initially to soften the whole energy body. And you can look at me, like it's like you're looking at my eyes, but don't fixate on my eyes. Try to look at me, but look all around at the same time. Okay. And don't penetrate your focus into me. You want to be very yin and spacious. You're just attuning to each other. As you bring your attention to all the brightest points in the room, all the brightness in your visual field, and allow that brightness to grow. See a mistiness in the air. That's the light I'm talking about. So you're in a sense waiting for the light. We're opening up to the possibility, and we're allowing in a way, we're allowing the brightness to emerge. Let the brightness that you have been resisting, let it emerge. Stop resisting the brightness. And you can also allow the light to move into your body. It's like you're looking with your mind and seeing the light everywhere, three-dimensionally. Shalom. So we allow the light to build. As if it's accumulating. Okay, Ayush, so we're gonna eye gaze together. Just watch me, we'll do a minute or two. Look at everything at once. Soften your focus. Really do your best not to blink. Allow yourself to feel absorbed. You're doing a really good job of that, actually, but really surrender even more, especially in your chest. It's like a good job. Keep going with that. Yellow, let's do it. Okay. Ariella. Okay, so really soften your focus. It's a very yin versus yang thing, very receptive versus assertive. With soften, it's an interesting kind of effort. The effort is the effort of surrender. So submerging in the heart. Looking at everything at once. If you can, allow the light to come imbued in your body. Let it come into your physical space and around you. You should feel the light is everywhere, including in your body, in your head, in your chest, in your legs, arms, pelvis, neck, everywhere. Stomach. Of course, always stay centered in your heart astrally. Ooh. Could have went for an hour. Let's just keep going. I have to go to somebody else. So keep going with it after I go to the next person. Colleen, are you okay? You're not there. So Robert next.
I'm okay. It's my eyes get very watery and blurry.
You can close your eyes. It's fine. I know you go into the light with your eyes closed very well, so just do that.
Okay.
Sorry, should have said that. Robert. Okay. This is fun. Let's do it. Okay. Looking at everything at once. It almost feels as if you're letting your physical form melt. You're becoming so yin. You know, yin is the feminine energy. Yang is the assertive masculine energy. You want to almost surrender and dissolve yourself. And we're allowing all the brightest parts of the room to emerge in their brightness, retracting our resistance to that brightness. Letting your mind fill the space, looking and touching everything with your mind. So we're really allowing our field to expand beyond the body. This helps the brightness emerge. And don't try too hard, anybody. Think of these words as just suggestions that will almost subconsciously manifest. Don't try too hard. Yes. Feel like you stabilized there. Stay with that. Ooh, good job. It's a little bit of a rush. It feels like power. It's power, it's love, it's purity, cleansing, purifying. Keep going. Wonderful. Jacob. Where's Jacob? Jacob. There he is. There you go. So Jacob, it'll be a little easier if you're facing your camera. Maybe move your camera. Move your camera. Well, you have to be facing me too. So move your camera and me closer together. You can. Nice. All right. Oh, feel like you got this. So it's really soft. There's almost a softening of receptivity, almost like you're leaning back a little bit, but with your mind. That's better. And sinking into the heart, and I feel absorbed. Allow yourself to melt in absorption. Can you sit with your heart out more? Yeah, it's a little bit like one of the things that helps the light come is the energy of the heart expanding. So posture plays a role. Because we're looking at everything at once, noticing all the brightest points. Allowing the physical energy in the body to melt and soften. Allowing the brightness to accumulate. When you see light, focus into it, give it your attention. Keep going with that. Excellent. Hey, Mom. Will you try it with me, Mom?
I've been doing it all the time.
Oh, good, good. Doing this, we're also generating love. It is the very practice of generating love, accumulating this light. I know that's your thing, so sizing it that way. My thing too. Here, instead of melting all funny, which I know makes you uncomfortable, watch, I'll make my energy strong. It's like flying away, guys. Whew. Keep going, keep going. Quran. Stay. All right. So you heard me do it with everybody else, so I'm not going to say much.
Can you repeat?
You heard me do it with everybody else, so I'm going to not say as much. You guys got that?
Yes, I'm good with my sense. I'm doing it good.
Wonderful. Yeah. So let's just do it together.
Okay.
Nice. You really feel that the heart is softening, and opening, melting. And then the power of the light can come through in a very smooth way. Like allow your heart to expand into the light. It's a little bit of a more subtle technique. Try bringing the luminosity into the physical form too. Into the chakras actually might be even better for you. You bring it into your third eye. That's right. right? Namaste. So let's take a few moments and just meditate on our own. You can maybe close your eyes if you feel like it. Feel the heart. And if you close your eyes, you'll notice that the light is still there. A little different. Bring your attention to your heart. When you're ready, you can come back out of the meditation, back to physicality. Right. So we'll do just a real quick share from anybody that really feels that they'd like to share. If you have any questions or if you'd like to maybe share about any experiences you had in the light or anything relevant to that. How about you, Robert?
Yeah, it was pretty profound because you called me out the second I was like pretty locked in, and all of a sudden my eyes were almost like blurry, like teary-eyed feeling. I was like just so, locked in. And then you moved on, but I closed my eyes and your silhouette turned into like a Mandelbrot set because like your image was, into my eyes. And I was just like, whoa, it's cool to, see it like that. But yeah, very, very cool way to do it. And I like that you said you can continue to see the light after when you close your eyes, because that's something very true. But, until someone tells you that, you don't realize it sometimes.
Yeah, you can, the practice of going into light isn't specifically about eye gazing. It's one of the ways. So a lot of times I'll meditate with my eyes closed in the light, and I can see the light with my eyes closed in the dark. But when you gaze, it has a slightly different effect. You see it a little differently. So wonderful, Robert. Thank you. Ariella, don't go away. Would you like to share anything?
Yes. The things that I experience momentarily, but I was able to experience them for a bit longer.
Were you able to see the luminosity?
Yeah, I could. When with my eyes open, it was blurry and my eyes sort of weren't focused, and but with my closed, I definitely saw more light.
Okay. Yes, it might work for you better to close your eyes, but it's okay if your eyes are blurry. You start to see the mistiness, and that mistiness is the light. Sometimes it appears as white light. There's different colors you might see. So if anybody else wants to share, maybe either a question about it or like how can you get into it better, or if you have something unusual happened, or a description of the light. And when we describe the light, it helps us to bring it into our intellectual mind better so we can get back to it. Also, it's nice to share, and it is a nice reflection for me to have a sense of people's experiences as well. So thank you, Ariella. How about you, Jacob? Would you like to share anything? You don't have to share, by the way, guys. So if
I feel that when I close my eyes and I can really kind of picture myself like, minus my body and just myself. And then when I looked at you, I could kind of like subtract, your soul from your body and kind of look at just, your soul. It's easier to do that with my eyes closed. And then when I open my eyes, it feels like a very refreshing like feeling. Kind of back to the shower uh
Yes.
explanation I said in the chat.
You said you subtracted my soul from my body.
Yeah. So like, it's like I'm not just viewing, your personal body. I'm
Mm,
kind of like looking toward your, you know,
deeper.
your being. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you look deeper into beyond the physical,
Yes.
into the soul in the body, but as a deeper source from which the body
Yes.
arises. Yeah. Nice. Mm. Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Nice meditating with you. How about you, Mom?
It's definitely easier for me with my eyes closed. Today I saw a very, very bright red, but when I had my eyes open, coming from the left side of me was a lot of cloudiness, but not on the other side. So it had something to do with maybe light somewhere in this room.
When you say left side was cloudy, was it a white gray?
Yeah.
Okay. That could just be a purifying process.
Okay.
Gray usually means like it's not as pure, and if it's coming from your left, that could be a good thing because it's like left brain, right brain. There's different energies on both sides. Heart side is more on the left. So wonderful, bright red, yay! Wonderful.
Thank
That's
you.
beautiful color. You're welcome. Thanks, Mom. How about you, Ayush? If you'd like to share, you can just say pass as well. If you like.
It was an amazing experience for me. Uh, Feeling much good, much light, and uh, so how it started is like my vision got blurred, and automatically my eyes closed, and then it was like something is releasing, and I also got some sensations here at the middle of the eyebrows, some vibration, some brightness, something here.
Beautiful.
And yeah, now I'm feeling much more calm, centered, composed to
Beautiful.
do the other activities throughout the day, and I got
Beautiful.
the energy, got the vibration. So
Great way to start your morning. I know it's 7:30 a.m. in India.
yeah, it's morning here.
Yeah.
So it's
Wonderful,
good to
Ayush.
meditate in morning.
Namaste. Wonderful. And Karan, how about you? Karan already meditates for an hour a day. He's like very devoted, or hour or more a day devoted.
I am a bit kind of confused with this type of meditation. As I previously also I said it, and I have been initiated to a different type of meditation, to different spiritual process since 2 years. I have been doing the same, and whenever you are referring to light as it brings clarity, as it brings calmness and kindness, love, I am all getting that from my previous spiritual practice also. But today I felt that when you refer to light, in my in my practice, what I do is I first take the hook of the breath. Well, I look at the breath and I get the concentration, get the focus, and after that I look at the sensations throughout my body, and it's called vipassana. And I look at the sensations throughout my body, and whenever uh, when I was not meditating, I was unknown about the sensations throughout my body. I was unknown about the subconscious mind that was interacting throughout me. And when you refer to light, I referred it as whenever I am focusing, whenever I am conscious about my sensations, that is light in a way, because I am seeing what it was already there, but I was not conscious enough to look at it So I was able to connect both of the theories. And one questions I was thinking about it when you refer to you talked about the light and it is beyond the physical. You referred it, and what I have been knowing is what is beyond the physical cannot be explained with the senses of this physicality. Yes,
Mhm.
am I correct? So whenever if someone has experienced fourth dimension, then it cannot be explained in the with the means of third dimension. Yes, we are in three dimension right now, and if someone has the experience of fourth dimension, that cannot be explained to someone who is in third dimension. It is beyond imagination. So uh, what do you refer to that beyond the physicality? So
Well,
I think
when I
it's
say
quite
beyond the physical, it's a little bit more like it's a more subtle aspect of physical, right? It's like beyond the form of the ice sculpture is the water inside of it. So the sculpture is one structural aspect of it that may be the point of focus. When you start focusing on the essence of the ice sculpture, you'll notice that there's ice, which is just water throughout it. So it's like I think the essence is an appropriate
so
term for it.
it's a kind of beginner thing maybe. So we go from the gross sensation to the subtle and the subtlest. So I think you were referring to the subtle sensations.
Yes, to go beyond the gross to the subtle is
Yes.
the way that I'm using that language. But another way you might say it is to become aware of the subtle within the gross
Yes.
and permeating the gross. Yeah. And when we focus on the subtle, we're getting closer to what we really are. So yeah, I know you have a practice. Maybe I think it's important for us to own our practice and make it our own. You
Yes.
you can follow a very strict lineage, but I think applying the intuitive approach and drawing from multiple disciplines is very powerful. So perhaps say, okay, well, maybe I can use this light to augment my practice as I've been doing it. Maybe it'll open up a dimension of comprehension in my practice.
I am the main confusion for me here is the main purpose of the light as you are referring, and I am thinking about it. The main purpose of light is to bring the clarity. Yes, and to bring clarity, to bring focus, and to be more loving, more kind, and
Well, those were a number of
see the things
purposes.
as it is.
Well, you
Yes,
said the main
and
purpose, but I would say love is the main purpose, or freedom is the main
yes,
purpose. Immutability, unassailability, but all of those bring clarity too, which is also necessary for love. So yes, yeah.
yes, and I am getting it from both the sides.
Nice.
The love that is unconditional love.
Beautiful, beautiful. It
That
sounds
is
like
the
you
main thing.
practice pratyahara. You know the fifth limb of yoga, pratyahara, sensorial.
Once before I practiced meditation for a year, I was searching all around which so I could get the knowledge. I could get the knowledge. I searched here and there, everywhere. Okay,
Oh, wait,
you're trying to say something.
yeah, oh, I know everybody's got to go. We went 15 minutes over. Can you say that one last sentence and then we'll wrap up, everybody? Can you say it again? You saw.
No, I was looking for everything so I could get the knowledge, and finally I joined that.
With what your initiation was a couple of years ago.
Yes, and uh, during that period, I was searching more about the theory, and my guru said that whatever your spiritual practice is, don't go beyond the theory. So whatever you are doing right now, whatever the lessons was taught, practical lessons. So it is not necessary to go the necessary to know the theory that are beyond the practice. Was referring that at that time.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, thank you everyone.
It's nice to see everybody. Thank you so much. Recommending this book for this week for reading. I've already recommended it, but Ariella and Mom, you might find this. Actually, Ariella and Mom, please consider reading this little book. Very, very powerful book about education, about children. In fact, this man has proposed what I would consider a mission statement that I'm actually trying to forward in with the program and everybody involved here. There's an element of us taking his insight and doing something with it. So, at least look at the table of contents. So, all right, Krishnamurti, thank you. Okay, namaste, everybody. Sorry, went 15 minutes over today. Take a picture and send it to me. Yes, I will. And let me see, what did Jacob say? I like it. Thanks, Jacob. Beautiful, beautiful thing that you said there. Exactly. We're looking with the mind. We're actually developing the sixth sense in a way. So, all right. Bye, Mom. Nice to see you. Okay. Bye, everybody.